Hello, everyone. I'm Mona Arsenault, and welcome to Solutions number 11. Today is about polio support in India. Here are a few words from Sanjeev about the experience of talking with others who had polio. Take it away, Sanjeev.
मेरा जन्म जो है नई दिल्ली भारत में हुआ था 1967 में। जब मैं सिर्फ 18 महीने का था तो मुझे टाइफाइड हुआ और उसके बाद मुझे पोलियो हो गया। इस बीमारी ने मेरे पूरे शरीर को इनिशियली जो है वो पैरालिसिस कर दिया था, और लेकिन समय के साथ और मेरे ऊपर के बॉडी में ताकत वापस आ गई, लेकिन मेरे पैरों में पैरालिसिस बना रहा और मैं उसके बाद हमेशा के लिए व्हील चेयर पर निर्भर हो गया था। मैंने अपनी पढ़ाई जारी रखी और दिल्ली विश्वविद्यालय से 2 बैचलर डिग्रियां प्राप्त की, एक बिजनेस एडमिनिस्ट्रेशन में और दूसरी लॉ में। उसके बाद मैं गवर्नमेंट ऑफ इंडिया में 23 सालों तक मैंने काम किया, कई महत्वपूर्ण पदों पर मैं रहा और फिर 2011 में मैं अपने भाइयों के पास कनाडा चला आया। यहाँ पर मैंने एक लॉ फर्म में काम किया इनिशियली, और उसके बाद मैंने अपना कैरियर फाइनेंशियल एडवाइज़र के रूप में बनाया। सामाजिक सेवा का जज्बा कभी रुका नहीं और मैंने कई संस्थाओं में वॉलंटियर काम किया और हेल्थ और डिसेबिलिटी से जुड़े पैनल्स में मैंने बहुत ही एक्टिव रोल निभाया है। लेकिन उसके बाद फिर मेरा एक नया संघर्ष शुरू हुआ। पोलियो से पहली लड़ाई के ऑलमोस्ट 50 साल बाद 2018 में मुझे फिर एक नई बीमारी ने घेर लिया, जिसका नाम था पोस्ट पोलियो सिंड्रोम, पीपीएस। मुझे अत्यधिक थकान, मसल्स में और नर्व्स में पेन, सांस लेने में परेशानी, नींद ना आना और फोकस नहीं कर पाता था किसी चीज़ को, कंसंट्रेशन नहीं बनती थी। ये सभी पीपीएस के लक्षण थे जिन्होंने मेरी शारीरिक ताकत को बुरी तरीके से प्रभावित किया और मैं फिर अधिकतर समय जो अब बिस्तर पर ही रहने लगा। आज मैं आपसे दिल से एक निवेदन करने आया हूँ। हम आपको हमारी मंथली सपोर्ट्स ग्रुप की मीटिंग्स में इनवाइट करने के लिए मैं यहाँ पर आया हूँ। आप में से कई पहले से हमारे स्पोर्ट्स ग्रुप के मेंबर होंगे, आपके पास कई सवाल भी होंगे, लेकिन अब ज़रूरी ये है कि आप अपने दोस्तों, पड़ोसियों, डॉक्टरों और हॉस्पिटल से बात करें। उन्हें बताएं कि पोस्ट पोलियो सिंड्रोम हमारे शरीर पर कैसे असर डालता है। जब हम यंग होते हैं तभी हम इस बीमारी के प्रभाव को रोक सकते हैं। कृपया हमसे संपर्क करें। हम आपके साथ ऐसी सलाह साझा करेंगे जो पोलियो के धीमे असर को रोकने में आपका मदद करेगी। पोस्ट पोलियो सिंड्रोम से कोई पीड़ित ना हो, इसे हम रोक सकते हैं। बस एक कॉल या मैसेज करें, हमारे पास जवाब हैं, हम आपके साथ हैं। हमसे जुड़िए, यह संदेश फैलाइए और इस सफ़र में साथ चलिए। धन्यवाद। नमस्कार।
And now we'll hear Sanjeev again in English.
I was just 18 months old when I suffered from typhoid fever, which led to polio, leaving my entire body paralyzed. Over time, I regained some strength in my upper body, but have relied on wheelchair ever since due to paralysis in my legs. I pursued my education and earned 2 bachelor's degrees, one in business administration and another in law, and both from the University of Delhi. This paved the way for a 23 years career with the government of India, serving in important positions. In 2011, I moved to Canada, briefly worked at a law firm, and then transitioned into a career as a financial advisor. Throughout, my commitment to serving others never wavered. I volunteered with many organizations and actively participated in panels on health and accessibility. But in 2018, exact 50 years after my initial battle with polio, I was faced with a new challenge: post polio syndrome, PPS. I experienced extreme fatigue, nerve, and muscle pain breathing difficulty, and problems with sleep and focus. These symptoms severely impacted my physical strength and left me bedridden for long periods. Today, I came to you with a sincere message. I want to invite you to our monthly support meetings. Many of you have been members and have important questions. But now we need you to speak to your neighbors, friends, colleagues, doctors, and hospitals. Tell them about the impact of post polio syndrome, PPS, on our bodies. When we are young, we still have time to prevent the devastating effects of PPS. Please reach out to us. We have hopeful guidance to slow down the long term effects of polio. No one needs to suffer from post polio syndrome. Together, we can prevent this second disability. Just contact us. We have answers. Join us, spread the word, and let's support each other. Thank you. Namaskar.
Thank you very much, Sanjeev. That was very interesting. And there are so many people who do have the same symptoms as you. I welcome our India population of people with polio here today. We want to invite you to our monthly support meetings. Many of you, as Sanjeev said, have been members with many questions, but we need more of you to talk to your neighbors, friends, colleagues, medical professionals, and the hospitals to encourage everyone to learn about the effects of post polio on your bodies. When we are young, we can halt the devastating effects of post polio syndrome. Please call on us to give you great advice in preventing the slow decline of polio. You are who we need to contact now and change this crippling disease from doubling your difficulties. No one needs to acquire post polio syndrome. We can slow down or even prevent this second disability from happening. Call on us. We have answers. Join us. Help spread the word. We are not human beings having a spiritual experience. We are spiritual beings having a human experience. Our essence is spiritual. Our human existence is a temporary experience. And now I'd like to introduce Ganesh to give you a few words of his polio experience. Take it away, Ken. Hello, Ganesh. I'm calling.
Hello.
Hello, I'm calling from Montreal, Quebec, and I want to ask you about your polio.
Yes. Yes.
Where are you?
I'm from India, uh, Maharashtra, Pune, and I was afflicted by polio virus when I was 11 months old. I had shifted from Delhi to Bombay, where the virus was very prominent. As far as I don't remember much about my childhood when I was afflicted with this virus, since I was just 11 months old. But one thing that I could recollect is there were not much of doctors available for the diagnosis. Uh, I had a very high fever, maybe to the tune of 102, 101, 102, for an infant of 11-month old. Uh, Context to which my mother had rushed me to a physician, and after administering the injection, uh, the next thing that I remember, rather my family remember, is that weakness setting in the lower limbs. Slowly, I recovered in one leg. I was earlier till the age of 2 or whatever. wearing calipers on both the legs, but slowly the caliper on my left leg was discarded thanks to the recovery of the muscles in the nerve supply. And I was then mobile, started with my activities. Completed my schooling. And during my childhood, I also remember having participated in sporting activities. And the reflexes were good. Only after 25 years from the initial attack of polio that I started experiencing the new pain, new weakness, flickering of muscles. And that's why I was not able to carry on the activities which earlier I used to carry very comfortably. Having said that, my surgeon told me that it is due to post-polio syndrome. He introduced me to Gazette International Institute in US, which was dealing with post-polio. I could read through the articles. I became a member, and that's how I had my awareness on the do's and don'ts of polio. So following it up for some days and to some level, it is because of that, which I am able to still maintain as far as endurance is concerned.
And you're still maintaining your work and your family?
Yes, but there has been a considerable reduction in the activities. Rather, it is voluntarily. Uh, I have minimized my public transportation using my own vehicle. Again, I don't sit late hours, unlike my earlier days, because somewhere I was made to understand that though I am doing a sitting job, it is connected with the spine, the brain is involved, and then invariably we end up uh, transferring the weakness on the lower limbs. So, a proper balance and a good awareness and a good diet, good supplements are all responsible for my endurance still. I would like to recommend good supplements to the polio survivors to maintain endurance and also the do's and don'ts. It is not up to what they are able to do, it is up to what they have to do.
Yes, what we have to do. And when
Yes,
we have very little endurance, then we need to figure out what's best for us at the time. That's
yes,
very wise.
yes.
Did anyone else in your family have polio or any of your neighbors?
No, 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 no,
No.
no,
And when you went to school, were there any other people that had also had polio?
no, no. In my school also, I was the only polio survivor.
Yes. Usually we don't know people who had polio. It's only now in the later years that we have this Zoom ability and that we are meeting people all over the world. And it's an
Yes,
honor to meet you, Ganesh,
yes,
and to get to know what you're going through and what we're going through. So I think
yes.
my membership will be very pleased to hear about the help that you can get in India. What kind of help is available now?
Now I can say that yes, the comforts are to some extent available. Uh, People rushing to your help as and when required. That involves even if one has to like carry the baggages and extend the help in terms of a wheelchair. People are very understanding and they just run to bring in wheelchair. They upfront ask in a nicer way, which doesn't sound offending also. So, but yes, I can say that post-polio awareness needs to increase in India. Not everyone is knowing about post-polio. They take more than often they take post-polio for something else, maybe the mindset or maybe the supplement levels, etc. But I'm not saying that it is not the factor. It may be one of the factor, but post polio per se in itself needs to be looked into and perceived in the right way.
Yes, yes. And the medical profession don't know about the polio now because there's so few people who are getting polio that the medical profession has stopped looking into it. Um, there are still people getting polio in the world, but now it's the post polio that is the biggest problem. And it's very unusual. Everyone who had polio has a different form of post-polio syndrome, depending on how they used their body in the past. You were an athlete, and then in the future, it made it more difficult.
Yes, I too was into playing this game of cricket. I had reasonably good reflexes with the knee brace on, though. Uh, Gradually, then I started feeling the muscular imbalance and new pain in the hamstring area, new flickering up of muscles, recovered muscles. So all these things made me consult my doctor, wherein I got to know about post polio, how to manage the late effects of polio.
Do you now have a doctor who knows about post-polio?
Not extensively,
Not
not
specific.
extensive, not extensive.
So that's what,
There are very only you can say doctors from the 80s, 70s, 80s. They have updated themselves, but no, the not the new generation.
yes. And do,
And one of the important factor is that of polio being forgotten with its eradication now.
yes, very much forgotten. Are you wearing calipers now?
I wear on the right leg. I have a caliper with an ankle insertion. Again, due to the increasing weakness. Earlier, it was a knee caliper from the mid thigh to the lower calf, but now it is with the ankle insertion. Again, towards endurance,
And
maintenance of endurance.
do you have how do you maintain your bracing? Do you have a clinic or orthopedic area that you can measure your caliper? There, over the years, our body changes, and we need different assistive devices. Do you have care for your caliper?
Yes, it is actually in the main hospital in Pune. We have two, three big centers wherein technicians are specialized and also the physiotherapy department work together in the making of the caliper. Plus, we also are given the latest uh, facilities available in terms of lightweighted calipers and all. When I said that a lot of things needs to be done for post polio, it also involves insurance component,
Yes. I
which if introduced, can do wonders for the polio survivors in maintaining the energy level, which otherwise gets exhausted with the heavy bracing.
yes.
The real rehabilitation can still be looked into. It's not that one cannot do anything about it. Definitely, there is much to do with frequent evaluation. Also, I recommend evaluation of the nerve supply, EMG, if I'm not mistaken. Yes, that will also help to a great extent to understand the denervation process and accordingly change the lifestyle.
Definitely the change in
It's one of
lifestyle.
the, it's also like a precaution, like vaccines. Precaution is better than cure. So it is also one of the factor.
Yes. And this is why I wanted to have you talk to people for this solutions talk goes all around the world. And it's not everyone who wants to see change in their system. We're happy the way things were, but now we have a different future and we need to deal with that. You're also working on trying to get the Indian government to change some of the ways that people who have a disability can continue to work. Um, this is a long process. Could you tell us just a little bit about what you've done so far?
I have made a presentation, a PPT presentation towards the help required from the government. It involves maybe hand-holding while climbing the staircase, and in terms of wheelchair availability, which is already there, but in context to post-polio, people per se may appear very normal from outer side, but within they have, as I said, muscle flickering, muscle pain, new pain. So the fall is they are susceptible to falls, and if these things are made available in plenty, and also the usage of public transportation, if the facilities are increased more than what they are already, it will do wonders.
Yes.
And I'm trying to bring in an awareness towards that. And this PPT presentation of mine is an effort towards increasing awareness and bringing in more of a facility than what it is already.
I think your help in talking to the government with other people to bring about this change for people who have had polio will be very valuable. And I want to be with you through this so that I can encourage people in other countries to also follow suit. We need to be very strong when it comes to talking to governments as well as the medical profession. The medical profession does not know about post-polio syndrome, or it's also called the late effects of polio, and they blame other things on it. They blame aging. Now, yes, people change as they age, but not in the same way that people who have had polio change. So we need to inform the medical profession, and this is something that I'm looking into, and you are also looking into it in your capacity. And I think that with many people hearing this talk, that we will be able to encourage the world and all those people who have had polio. There are millions of us all around the world, and we were left to our own devices for so many years. Post polio usually only happens 30 to 40 years later, but in your case, it was 25 years later. And I'm sure that there are many people who also suffered the
That's
same
because
way you.
again coming to the late effects of polio, it is also due to the fact that people are not aware of the do's and don'ts. By the time I could get the do's and don'ts, I was already more than 25 years from the initial attack of polio. So awareness is very much important. Otherwise, people will tend to take it for something else. And I do strongly recommend supplements in the
Yes.
right way. And I have been personally using Amway products, vitamins, vitamin D, vitamin C, then for uh, even arthritis, to prevent arthritis. In polio cases, if you encounter arthritis, it is very difficult, because in polio cases, the replacements are also very difficult due to the girth of the affected area. So we need to be very conscious on the precautions, very conscious on the precautions. And that is the only way out.
Very conscious. That is an excellent way to describe post-polio syndrome. Be very conscious of how your body is changing and that it keeps changing. Is there something else you'd like to tell the public about polio?
Uh, the only thing that I would like to share is be open-minded to understand the problems. Unless we understand the problems, we will not be able to handle it. We
Very
need to understand what problem we are going through. And that is the reason I after continuously traveling for a distance of more than 50 kilometers every day, uh, wrote a letter to the management and got shifted to a nearer office. So I'm thankful to my management as they were receptive and understood the whole thing in the right perspective. Even if it is my travel in my own vehicle, the long sitting hours and you know getting through the traffic, everything can add up to the fatigue.
right. That's right.
Energy saved is energy earned.
That's very wise and very informative. And it's very good to hear that your work has been able to adapt to some of the changes that you need. I think by talking to you, we will encourage more people to find solutions to different ways of handling our abilities. I want to say thank you so much. Uh,
My pleasure. My
we
pleasure.
will we will view this on May 7th, and
Yes,
thank you.
yes. Thank
Thank
you.
you so much.
My
Well, again, I want to say thank you to Ganesh. He helped us with this interview, and I would like to continue with a little more information on post polio for everyone. Go Beyond was written by Jean Headley, written in the late 1990s. And when I read the book, every line in this book is relative to me. A real zinger. It makes me feel understood. I totally related to Jean's every polio word. I felt like Jean's memories were my memories. And Jean defines with excellent clarity what every polio person I've ever met knows. She surveyed 10 polios and came up with the same memories, which I have tried to express in my life about myself. She writes a chapter called Walking Was the Whole Deal. The whole deal was walking. No matter how you walked, it was walking that was important so you could fit in, be part of the normal world. And despite all the difficulties my walking involved, I was one of the walkers. We had beaten the odds. Some of us entered the world of normal, or so we thought. I was always told as a child I could do anything. I was led to believe I could do everything everyone else did, but it was my damaged neurons which would not cooperate. My wiring was seriously undercode, wrote Alan Robbins in his polio book called Polio Damaged Polio Neurons, and they did not regenerate. Polio and post polio do not have a clean diagnosis, but it is the commonality with other disabilities that is my lifeline, wrote Jean. I am not alone. Others understand me. Post polio is a diagnosis of exclusion. When every other symptom is examined and eliminated, what is left is post polio syndrome. Round two, post-polio syndrome, is the further deterioration of neurons which create overall weakness and crushing fatigue, while a lifetime of overcompensation results in muscle and joint pain. It is the old tale of the seeker struggling up the mountaintop for a word of profound wisdom from the guru whose simple utterance is, live with it. I ask, but how? It's not fair, right? So let's move on, says Jean. Her strategy for living a full life is taking responsibility for what you can change. Listen to your body, calm down, slow down, and lay down. Jean's last words on coping: be creative, aim for safety, go for what lets you be more independent and life giving. I lived a life of independence, ignoring what I could not do and replacing it with all I could do. Jean said, I laid aside a lifetime of self imposed self reliance and changed my life. I started using a wheelchair. I say now is a good time to talk about fatigue. It is the most common and least recognized symptom of post-polio syndrome. Dr. Carol Vandernacker talks about fatigue and how do we recognize post-polio fatigue. It is a generalized fatigue and it is not well understood by doctors or by polios ourselves, but the most dangerous symptom because we can damage our body so easily. It's possibly due to injury to the cortical activation system, a possible relation to cytokines. And in the CFS, which is the liquid around the brain, cytokines are a type A protein that is made by certain immune and non-immune cells, and it has effect on the immune system. Some cytokines stimulate the immune system and others slow it down. They can also be made in the laboratory and they are used to help the body fight cancer and infections and other diseases. Our polio involvement of good muscles is common. 65% of muscles in uninvolved limbs do have reduced motor neurons. This was unknown before. It is known now. We have associated conditions: chronic pain, depression, sleep disturbances, and respiratory problems may contribute to other conditions. We have to try short bursts of exercise with rest in between, rather than going and exercising for a long period of time, because our muscles are more likely to need that recovery time. What should we do? Optimize wellness by lifestyle changes, eliminate our bad habits, establish healthy habits, pace yourself, and reduce stress. As Ganesh said, our diet and nutrition is truly an important aspect. We need to have adequate sleep, and that's more than you think. If you're getting 6 hours of sleep, perhaps you need 7 hours. Perhaps you need 8 or 9. Take the time. Psychosocial health and support is really needed for polio support, and we do it in our groups. We try to change our cognitive behavioral therapy. We used to do things, and now we need to change them. We have the emotional freedom to do this. And most of all, practice illness prevention. Identify your risks and have regular medical care, and certainly all the vaccines. Most of all, fall prevention. Falling is the number 2 reason of death in the world. Let's stop falling. Make yourself able to get along without falling. Sometimes it's hard to say no, but it's always okay if you need to. In fact, it's necessary sometimes, but it can be tough, especially when we feel pressure to do everything and worry about letting people in our family and our world down. Galen Lee, a woman I admire for her resilience, a musician with a disability, wrote, every time I say yes to something that doesn't truly line up with my purpose or passion, I'm actually letting it drain the time and energy I should be using for what really matters. Here we can see the key is recognizing what truly fulfills you and learning to give yourself the permission to simply say no to what doesn't. Join our support team every month. In India, it's usually the last Sunday of the month. We want to hear from you and those you know so they can also get help and understand how post polio has changed our lives once again. Join me each month for new ideas and friendship. We are all polio friends now. Let's come together at all the different support groups. Write to me at this address, and I will send you information about meetings that we now hold in Mexico, Brazil, India, Africa, all over Africa. And we are trying to help people who have no medical people and also people who know about medical conditions but have no doctors who understand them. Take this time to help yourself, to help all of us be the people we are and want to remain. I want to say thank you to everyone who helped put this show together and for our next show that will come up Wednesday, the first Wednesday in June. Thank you all. You are amazing. Polio, hooray. We are strong and we care about everyone. Thank you very much.